Hello and welcome to episode 4 in series 2, the Power On series. With me as always we've got Manib and we've got our 2 test rigs today. I'll touch on this one first. This is from one of our military customers. They use this for testing small to medium batch PCBs and it's a bed of nails solution. All they do is get their suspected PCB. They've already measured the characteristics of a good working one. They put it in, close the lid, press the green button, and by the end of the test flow, it'll tell them what's wrong with that PCB and what's the differences between that PCB and their golden PCB. Okay, so you can watch more about this test rig from our friend in the States, Fauzi Taha. That's on our YouTube channel, and we'll touch on this one now. So, Manib, what can you tell me about this test rig here?
Okay, so as you mentioned, we had 2 different solutions. The one that you mentioned earlier was a bed of nails, and this is a different type of solution. So what we have here is an energy harvesting PCB, and this PCB is a part of a larger network, a larger system of different PCBs connected together, and this is used for, as I mentioned, energy harvesting. So what this customer was, the customer basically had a problem with this PCB in the field. They're finding that it was failing, causing a lot of problems, costing a lot of money. So they basically approached us and we suggested the use of the MMS alongside the BoardMaster and the different modules it comes with to test and fault find on this particular PCB.
Okay, fantastic. So they use this for testing PCBs that are out in the field that fail then come back.
Exactly. So not only does this customer use it for test and repair, but they also use it for end-of-line production testing.
Okay.
So for example, when you manufacture a batch of PCBs, and then at the end of the process, at the end of the line, they use this test rig to make sure that the PCB is working as it should do. There's no faults with any of the in the manufacturing line, and basically as a way of doing an end-of-line test, quality check to make sure the PCB is perfect and ready to be used in the field.
Okay, fantastic. So this is ideal for someone that suspects the same PCB quite often.
Exactly.
Okay. Do we get the test flow from the customer for this test rig?
Yes, so this particular test flow is specifically for this test rig, and it is made up of various steps, which we'll go through in a second. So you begin by steps 1 and 2, basically showing you how to set up this test rig, how to connect the test rig to the modules, what to connect to the PCB itself, and there's also instruction on the left hand side showing you what to do, basically giving instructions on how to do that.
Okay, so a more experienced engineer can then set up the test flow, and then a less experienced engineer can actually run through it.
Exactly. So within test flow, as you mentioned, a more experienced engineer can come in, design this test rig, let's say, design the test flow, set up everything, all the tests, all the steps, save all the results, make sure everything is perfect, and then they can save all of this. Now this only needs to be done once, and then a lower level technician can come in and then simply open up the test flow, look at the pictures, look at the instructions, plug and play, and then run through all the steps.
So what would this less experienced engineer see using the test flow?
Right, so first 2 steps basically showing you how to connect, and then once you move on to the next step, now the test flow will automatically run through various different tests, and it happens fairly quickly. And you may have noticed that we have the VI matrix tester opened.
Okay, yeah.
You covered this in series 1?
Yeah, series 1, Power Off series, looked at matrix VI, so that's looking at all the connections between every other pin, a very interesting topic, so you can watch that, series 1 on the side.
Yeah, so this particular test flow is set up in such a way that we begin with power off tests first. So we test various different components, making sure that they're operating as they should be, doing power off tests first, and then as a way to also make sure that the PCB is safe to power on. So as I mentioned earlier, we're using not only the MS module, we're using the ATM, the PPS, we're using several different modules to test this particular PCB. So we start with power off and then move on to power on tests. And as you can see on this particular step, we have the advanced board checker. So the advanced board checker is basically an instrument that comes with the ATM, and what it does is it allows you to set any of the channels or the pins on the ATM to either an output, so we're driving a voltage, or as an input, so we're measuring a voltage. We can also do a VI test as well. So what we can do with this particular instrument is do a complete board level test. And for example, we can use the ATM as a way of simulating the control card or the full solution, send signals to this PCB, make sure it's responding as it should do, make sure it's working as it should do.
How many channels are there available?
So there's 64 channels available with the ATM, and obviously this can be expanded as well. So in this example here, the advanced board checker is being used in a way where we are setting our ATM, the channels on our ATM, the channels or the pins on our ATM in such a way where we can add the driver voltage. So we're sending a signal or we are measuring a voltage. So send our channels to either an input or an output. They can also be used as VI as well. So we can do a simple VI test. So as you can see here, we are measuring several different things, 5 volts, the inputs, the outputs, the heat sink temperature. So we're measuring several different things, meaning we could do a complete board level test. But we also have a verification process here, like a visual check. So as the test file is prompting us or suggesting to us, is asking us to power on the PCB and make sure all the LEDs are turning on as they should do.
Okay.
So I simply click this button here, power up the PCB, moves on into the next step, and our PCB itself is powered up and you can see all the LEDs.
Yeah, so you've got 3 LEDs along the top, some greeny yellow ones, and then a red one in the top right.
Exactly, so all the LEDs are on, and now we have another little prompt here asking us if all the LEDs are on or not.
Okay.
So depending on which one you click, you get taken to another step.
Okay.
All our LEDs are on, click that button, and it's as simple as that. Our PCB has passed and is working as it should do.
Fantastic, thank you, Manib. So that was a demonstration of this customer solution for energy harvesting PCBs. Stay tuned for the next episode. We're touching on the advanced IC identifier. So look forward to that.